Back in November, I made a video about Radiant, imploring people to give the show a chance beyond its fairly shonen-y aesthetic. Then I promptly didn't follow my own advice and put Season 2 on de facto hold 2 episodes in, like just about everything else I was watching last fall. Well, here I am 7 months later, all caught up, and I would just like to double down and tell you to please watch Radiant. If you're unfamiliar with the series, check out the first video where I sort of outline all the basics, because the rest of this video is going to be me losing my mind about Season 2. Per usual, I won't mention direct spoilers, but I am going to reference character moments and general scenes, so keep that in mind. If I had to pick one thing that Radiant and author Tony Valente have always nailed, it's conveying the depth and array of emotions on display in this story, highlighted most by the weight of certain character interactions. There is a scene between Seth and Melly a few episodes into this season that is just so unbelievably raw. It felt like I was watching a very messy, real-life breakup unfold in front of me. Seth decides to self-servingly non-apology apologize to his friends, and Melly just absolutely lights him up. Like, shonen protagonists aren't treated like this. They aren't held to this level of emotional responsibility. She deservedly lays into him, calling out everything that he's done wrong. While eventually emotions boil over and there are tears and anger, so much of this scene is delivered in calm, measured tones. It's incredible. It's honestly that voice work that elevates the scene. She's voiced completely differently here than at any point previously. Gone are the energetic, chipper tones, replaced by disappointment and genuine pain. It's maybe the first time I've watched a character go sit out in the rain and been like, no, this is understandable and not thematic overkill. And scenes like this, in my mind, are what make Radiant great as a series. It relies on its relationships and the emotion behind them to create investment and propel the story. And as you add more characters, it intertwines tighter and tighter, creating a net that no matter where the plot goes, will always keep it upright. Seth and Melly have a legitimate, deep, and trusting relationship, which lends credence to the pain in the scene I just mentioned and powers multiple standout scenes throughout the season. It's so refreshing to see when Melly easily could have just been the quirky, jealous love interest or gimmick don't make her mad character archetype. The series follows this welcome development with its newest main cast addition as well, Okuho. She shows up, immediately starts kicking ass, provides a very strong challenge to Melly's iron grip on the Best Girl title, and is the crux of the plot development for much of this season. She's a fantastic new character, and as she builds her rapport with the mainstays, she also shows off cutting and impressive scenes with new characters, whom she has built-in story ties. Elsewhere, Dragunov continues to be a hunk and self-styled anti-hero. Grimm continues to be weird, but oddly endearing. Sayori Hayami continues to just be terrifying as Ulmina, and the Queen is giant for some unexplained reason. And while I've now spent much of our time here strictly discussing the characters, Radiant's actual story continues to be beyond worthwhile. A lot of the time in a shonen-styled story, the journey is more important than the endpoint, as most of us kinda know how conflicts are going to end up. Shows that are able to impress usually do so in one of two ways: subverting, aka killing off a character or letting the villains win, or focusing on that journey more than the resolution, and the emotional growth and weight that comes with it. Radiant excels by doing a little bit of both. Obviously, the emotional impact of actions on characters and their personal journey is more on display here. I just talked about it for half this video. But Tony doesn't hold back either, especially in Season 2. People die and stay dead, lose limbs, get captured. It's not Game of Thrones level twists, but it's still there and kinda wild. About halfway through the season, right when you think you're reaching the climax and you've figured out where the plot is going, they throw a couple curveballs at you back to back. You know, kinda keep you on your toes, get you to lose your footing a little bit. Then they drop a house on you. Absolutely no spoilers here, but as much as I love this series, I had figured about 30 episodes in that it didn't have the capability to surprise me. And I was wrong. All the individual fights in this section are so good, as a bit of a mid-season production slump completely reverts. And then out of nowhere, they drop an incredible insert song during a big moment, and I've watched it about 20 times. The voice cast remains top tier. They finally got Grimm to do this.
Ho ho. では十分近づくがよい.
So I'll always love them, and it remains one of the biggest pros to watching instead of reading. Now, from what I've been told and seen since Season 1, I think reading the manhwa is probably the ideal means of consumption here, particularly early on, but I'm illiterate, so anime it is. And unfortunately, Season 3 has not been confirmed yet, because the anime is now pretty close to being caught up with the manga. Season 2 ended around chapter 75, and from what I can tell, there are only about 100 chapters right now. But there is plenty of hope. Valente himself has publicly said that he hopes to see the current story arc in anime form when he finishes it, and the production staff are on board if given the chance. While I have exactly zero idea about the financial success of Radiant in Japan, I too am very hopeful that we will get to see Seth and friends on screen once again sooner rather than later. Until then, I'm just gonna cherish the time I've spent with these characters, and maybe pick up a couple of the more recent English volumes.